wanted to come on and show you a book I made for a swap in a Facebook group, and I will link that group in the comments below if you're interested in it. There's always fun swaps and just fun sharing, and it's just a fun place to be if you like to make junk journals. So this swap was for a, there was really no rules other than it had to be a Reader's Digest book. So I have quite a few of those in my collection, should I say. My stash. I pick them up when I can because I really love them. Anyway, so I chose this one and I left the cover as is. I really liked this marble. It's a really warm orange, which I love this color. For years I didn't like orange, but now I do, but I like certain shades, and this is the shade. It's a very fall color. And then this is some Japanese fabric I had in my stash that I covered the spine with, and some rickrack. So I kept it really simple for that because I liked this marbled cover so much. I didn't want to cover it up or do anything to it. This is a vintage button that I turned into a like a knob as a closure for this. And so let me see if I can show you. It's a textile bead that I made out of vintage fabrics, and I just embroidered on it. And then these are 2 wooden beads that I had in my stash. And so that's on the end of the seam binding. This is vintage seam binding. And then the inside, again, I kept it pretty simple. There's a pocket on the front inside cover and also in the back inside cover, and I use vintage rickrack on both of them. So this is the real deal cotton vintage. It's super nice. I love it. I love vintage rickrack. And then I just put some little things in here to journal on, including this is just scrapbook paper with lace. So there's plenty of room to journal or put pictures or whatever she wants to do with that. And I put the original front page of the book in here. I didn't really include a lot of pages from the book, but I did put a few. This is one of them. And then just some fun stuff. This is some upcycled wool sweater pieces and silk and lace and just stuff. I love to collect stuff like that, so I'm always using it for stuff. And then some more just journaling things stuck in there. Made some little journaling cards out of some music paper. And I'll go pretty quickly so this doesn't take too long. This is a vintage postcard. I'm not sure what year, but it's a 2-cent postage stamp. And just some watercolor paper that, actually it's not paper, sorry. It is paper, but it's not watercolor paper. It's I've talked about it before in some other videos about how I like to use resume type paper. It's a cotton resume paper. I like to use that because it takes water media really well, and it's really lightweight, so it doesn't bulk up your journal too much. So that's what I did here, and I put a vintage button in here. And I did some charms. I guess I'll show you as I go. So some of these are vintage, some of them are not. And that's just from a photo album. This is from the U.S. Geographical, U.S. whatever, part of the government. And I have quite a few of these maps. I love using them because they're big and interesting looking. Just a fold-out pocket with them. I love these vintage cards. I'll be sad when they're finally gone. Look, isn't she adorable? Oh, is she in focus? I don't know. Focus. She's just adorable. And this came out of this Reader's Digest book. And some wrapping paper samples. This is some of my painty paper. It's from a Spanish textbook. And more of paper, the resume paper that I just painted on. This is hand-printed wrapping paper. Love that. This is a green stamp book. So you youngsters out there probably don't even know what this is, but I have quite a few of these back when you could earn green stamps at the grocery store and get cool stuff once you filled up your book. This is avocado dyed paper with another charm on this middle section. The other part of that green stamp book page. Some more wrapping paper, and the paper clip that I made with some of my very favorite fabric. I'll be glad when this fabric is gone too. I love that fabric. And this is some of my hand spun yarn. So I just use that as to make a bookmark. So she can, you know, put this anywhere she wants in the book to mark the spot. Actually, I should probably move it over just a little. There we go. Stamp. I love using any kind of stamps for tabs. So this is a stamp and a tea bag. And then an envelope that I put some goodies in. This is just the other side of that. Painty paper and vellum. And a ticket and stuff that's a tuck spot. Oh, I meant to put something in there. I'll have to go back. That's a tuck spot, so that needs to have something in there. Wrapping paper again. That's a vintage price tag. I like to use those as tabs too. Coffee dyed paper. This is a tuck spot with some journaling cards in there. This is some of my favorite Japanese paper that I love to use all the time. Vintage postage stamp. This is the US stamp. And another US stamp. And then this is just an envelope that I put goodies in for her. This is just pretty speckled paper. This is that other side of the Japanese paper, and I put lace on that one. Coffee dyed paper. And then this is paper like what checks are printed on. And I made a tab for that one. More wrapping paper sample. This is some handmade paper. I love this paper. It has this wonderful texture of dots all over it. And then this is a little pocket with some journaling stuff and a vintage flashcard in there. Some more of those green stamps that I made a tab out of. Some coffee dyed paper with another stamp. Love using stamps. And on the other side of that stamp, I just used some wool felt and some vintage fabric to finish off that tab. Another price tag that I like to use as a tab. This is a map of a part of Germany. More avocado dyed paper, which this is Japanese paper that I dyed, avocado dye. It's music paper. And some more watercolor on resume paper. And then this one I just, on one side of my tie, I used a stamp from the 70s during the Silver Jubilee in England for one part of that. And then on the other end, I actually made another, dangle charm. So I tried to leave lots of space for her to add her own style and her own whatever journaling she wants to do. She wants to add papers to journal or pictures. This is a vintage ticket to a little amusement park. the other end of that handmade paper. And then that back pocket that I've already shown you. It's just big enough to hold a few little doodads. Anyway, I appreciate you watching this, and I really hope that she loves it. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.